Arthur held his short sword above his waist, ready. Arena sounds faded. His focus centered on Caspian Bladeheart, head of a major sap in Guildhall. Caspian held his rapier lightly, making figure eights with its tip, humming, yet offering no openings. His bloodlust was heavy, despite his innocent smile. Memories of duels in his previous world surfaced as tension grew. Arthur's focus sharpened. Only Caspian's sounds reached him. Whistling blade, crinkling clothes, controlled breaths. Arthur's instinct screamed caution. His hands trembled slightly, not from apprehension, but excitement. Arthur thought. He hadn't expected an opponent of this caliber so soon. This battle, though not to the death, felt different from spars with Virion. "I knew at first glance that you would have to be assessed in a different manner," Caspian commented, lowering his stance. "I hope you don't take this special treatment to heart." Arthur analyzed Caspian, reached longer by a foot, stance indicating thrust reliance. The mana swirling around Caspian suggested no careless mistakes. "Please prepare yourself. I wouldn't want someone Miss Flamesworth has sponsored to lose too quickly." Caspian sprang forward, kicking up dust, closing the gap. He lunged with his rapier like a coiled spring. Arthur twisted his head, avoiding the stab, but a few strands of his hair fell, severed. "Excellent dodge," Caspian mused, drawing his rapier back, then following with an angled lunge. Arthur raised his scabbard. The impact echoed, throwing him off balance. Arthur realized his undeveloped form still limited his swordsmanship. Arthur recovered by pivoting, using Caspian's momentum to whirl his body for a powerful swing. Caspian leaned back. A thin red line appeared on his nose. Caspian's eyes widened, but he recovered quickly. Arthur seized the moment, swiping at Caspian's unguarded legs. His blade arced silver. Clashing blades resounded as Caspian defended. Both used the chance to create distance. Seconds passed. Both had minor injuries. Arthur switched his sword arm. The last impact made his right hand tremble. Arthur noted. His unfamiliarity with this body was apparent. "I must apologize for underestimating you. I shall be a bit more serious now." Caspian's voice was calm, but his face showed new intensity. His eyes gleamed with killing intent, that of a seasoned fighter. His rapier, pointed at Arthur, glowed silvery as he brought it closer. "Ha!" Caspian thrust the rapier. The hairs on Arthur's neck rose. His instincts screamed to run. Reflexively, Arthur pivoted, but sharp pain burst from his shoulder. Hot blood seeped into his robe. "Seems Miss Flamesworth has picked up someone worthwhile after all," Caspian acknowledged. Arthur thought. This was no longer a simple assessment. Caspian had aimed for his heart. Arthur wondered, would he have defeated Caspian easily in his past life's body? He wasn't sure. Factors included sword quality and long-range mana manipulation, non-existent in his old world. Caspian, building charge, gave 2 more rapid thrusts. Arthur knew what to expect. Nearly invisible sharp wind bullets. Their speed was frightening, but there were openings. Using the previous attack as reference, Arthur gauged the spell's speed. It followed a straight line. Arthur ducked under the first wind bullet, which grazed his hair, and parried the second with his blades flat, deflecting it. He willed mana to his legs, dashing toward Caspian. He had to close the distance, knowing Caspian had a long-range spell. Melee would also be hard. Arthur's body was shorter than he was used to, his mana pool smaller. Sylvia's dragon will toughened his body, but it wasn't much advantage against a mana-enhanced veteran. Arthur's only advantage was Caspian not knowing his full capabilities. Focusing mana into his free hand, Arthur ran his fingers down his sword, imbuing it with fire. Approaching, he swung, releasing a fiery red arc. Arthur saw Caspian's concentration as he willed more mana into his rapier, making it glow silvery white. Caspian fanned away the flames, leaving a slight window. Gathering mana to his left foot, Arthur molded piston stamp. Fiery explosions erupted under his foot, propelling him beside Caspian. How? Caspian managed, mouth agape, rapier still in defensive position from Arthur's feint. Arthur's position wasn't optimal, launched a foot further than intended, but it was enough. He lacked time for a proper spell, simply strengthening his body with mana, and thrusting his sword. As his blade neared Caspian, Arthur heard the manager's chant, "Gale's Vortex!" Arthur barely rescinded his attack and jumped away as an intense air swirl burst from Caspian, a protective twister. Hidden, Caspian had time to prepare. The spell released, revealing Caspian, sweating, panting, sword arm tucked like a striking snake. His left arm stretched, palm open, aimed at Arthur. His rapier glowed brighter silver. "Pierce!" Caspian roared, his rapier a blur of thrusts. Arthur thought, this was supposed to be an exam. Was Caspian trying to kill him? "Screw this," Arthur muttered, concentrating his remaining mana into his sensory and motor neurons for Thunderclap Impulse. Developed with Virion, this technique used lightning mana to run electric currents through his nerves, quickening reflexes to a superhuman extent. Average reaction, 0.3s. Trained fighters, 0.2 to 0.15s. Thunderclap Impulse briefly sped his to 0.05s. Arthur's pupils contracted, skin hairs rose from electric currents. He heard the air bullets shooting towards him as he readied to dodge. "Release!" Caspian screamed. The air bullets dissipated into a harmless wind draft. "I may have gotten a bit carried away with testing your limits," Caspian apologized, sheathing his sword. Arthur released his spell. The Guildhall manager turned and headed for the exit. Given the fact that you so adamantly withheld your full abilities until the end, I can only assume that you wish to be placed at a lower rank, Caspian said, not breaking stride. Note, B-class. Before disappearing, Caspian turned, looking Arthur in the eye. One eyeglass lens was cracked. I'm sure you have no problem with this? Arthur nodded, watching Caspian leave. That was the last examination for today. Please go to the front desk to receive your adventurer's card. Everyone is dismissed, the augmenter examiner shouted, as he and the conjurer examiner rushed after their boss. Back at Caspian's desk, before he could sit, the examiners for today's placements barged in, questioning him. George, Emily, take a seat. Don't talk all at once, Caspian sighed, sinking into his chair. Sir, today's examinees? George shouted. 3 B-class adventurers in one day? Unheard of. And all kids, light orange at 11. Inhumans. Emily nodded fervently. Remember Xyrus, half a year ago? Caspian asked. The first inter-race tournament? Emily replied. Yes, guild workers will know soon. The ban on elf/dwarf adventurers is lifted. Today's batch had representative examinees. Caspian pulled a file. All 3 dwarves are elves, George asked, shocked. Lucas Wykes, half-elf in Sapin. Birth info classified. Caspian guessed elf-slave parentage. Wykes' family known for breeding mages. He's unusual. Flame adept despite elf lineage. Awakened at 8. Early for elves. Sent for trial. Wykes' family likely spent much on beast cores for his growth. Caspian flipped pages. Elijah Knight. Mystery. Origin unknown. Raised by dwarves, a first representative from Darv to assimilate. Why wasn't he tested, sir? Emily asked. Clerk said B-class. Elijah awakened months ago, barely dark red stage. B-class due to his sponsor. I have no say, curious about his abilities. Caspian shook his head, filing it. The masked augmenter? No idea who he is. Not elf or dwarf. Curious why Miss Flamesworth sponsored him. Flamesworth, as in Flamesworth House? Famous for fire mages? Caspian regarded them seriously, adjusting his glasses. You'll find out soon. Refrain from discussing it until the official announcement. Both nodded. Caspian dismissed them. Caspian pondered. Caspian thought, that masked augmenter. His techniques weren't standard. His sword style was chilling. Caspian also sensed the augmenter's movements were off, awkward, as if restrained. Caspian dismissed his thoughts, turning to documents, but grinned. Caspian felt this continent was changing. More interesting events would come. The same receptionist handed Arthur his bronze adventurer's card. E-class to B-class cards were copper, A-class silver, AA-class gold, S-class white. Are you and Caspian close, Jasmine? Arthur asked after putting away his card. Sylvie was asleep on his head. He's an acquaintance of my father, Jasmine said simply, a cold chill in her voice. Arthur didn't dig further. His adventuring partner clearly had no positive feelings for Caspian. Changing the subject, Arthur asked, so what should we do next? Jasmine didn't answer immediately. Options included missions at or below their rank. Guarding, acquiring reagents for magical items. They could go to the Beast Glades to explore and hunt mana beasts. Or, dungeon exploring. Jasmine answered, a faint smile on her face.